So, hello friends. Today is gonna be a special day because I'm going back from my favorite content creator named SomeOrdinaryGamers, and the video is all about Disney needs to shut down this Club Penguin server. This is uploaded 4 years ago, and man, it's like this video kind of stands out to me as much because I kind of vaguely remember this video, but this was a very huge, like probably one of his biggest video in the past, and I don't know what this subject was about, but I want to watch this because it seems popular to his videos right now. So here it is, friends, and my name is Tizona Reacts, and before I'm going to play this video, hopefully I would love you to like and subscribe to my videos, and hopefully to support me from future videos that I'm going to make in the future, I guess. So thank you for all your support, and thank you for liking and subscribing to my videos. So let's get right into this video. Oof.
If it's one thing that leaves me unfazed over the internet, it's stories of predators hanging around near children's games. You know, I've seen it years ago with the Minecraft community when a lot of exposing was going on. But
Really?
the thing is, I wasn't surprised and I wasn't shocked. The thing is, this stuff unfortunately goes pretty hand in hand. Now,
Yeah, and I also heard that a lot, especially from Discord too. So I don't know how big the Minecraft thing was. I'm pretty sure Roblox had its problems too from there. I think popular like video games, like probably children's games, possibly even like Fortnite too. Also, I do got to say, like this video from Mutahar. This video from Mutahar is really dark. I didn't notice that I can actually play the video within my earphones. Let's actually try it. No, it didn't work. How did this work? Okay, it seems to play the video for some reason. Oh, all right.
Unfortunately goes pretty hand in hand. Now, today's video is all about Club Penguin. And a lot of you might say, well, Muta, Club Penguin's gone. And you're right, it does not operate in an official capacity, despite some of the news sites that almost make it seem like it still does. Today's video is all about the biggest private server that is running right now for Club Penguin, with over 6 million registered users, maybe even a lot more than that. One where you know most of these user bases are going to be filled with children.
Yeah.
So what happens when you take a server that has a giant child population and alleged allegations so disgusting that you have over hundreds, if not thousands of screenshots by numerous ex-staff members, victims that come out that have gone unnoticed for years up until now? Well, ladies and gentlemen, sit back, relax, because we're going to look at a Club Penguin server that Disney does not own, one that's run by randoms all over the internet, one that has allegations piles upon piles upon piles high. Sit back, let's dive right into the story of one of the biggest and also one of the Club Penguin servers with the shadiest reputation right now on the internet.
I'm pretty sure I can't relax, like I can't sit down and relax with this type of, how dark this shit is going to be. Gonna be possibly an hour for this video, tighten your, I don't know what even to tight on, but let's go.
Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar. You ever understand how things can get depraved?
He's very scary, man. Like when you look at like the lighting and how dark his face is, it's creepy.
When it involves Club Penguin? Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, we have a rabbit hole that might be one that's one of the darkest I've covered. Now, starting off, this video I have to re-record numerous times. Okay, number one, it's going to be a virus investigations video. Then Kavos made a video and it went from a virus investigation to a diddler investigation video. And then I had to record again when there were even more allegations tossed into this. Now, I've got a bunch of receipts. I've got a bunch of categories to go down. But that being said, let's get into this Club Penguin rabbit hole. Now, let me give you a history of private servers, so to start. Private servers are unofficial servers that are created by fans through reverse engineering or through utilizing leaked assets. They're separate from the original IP holder. Usually private servers get rid of things like monthly sub fees, or they offer unlimited in-game microtransactions, and some actually offer fan-made content separate from the original IP holder. Now, I used to play private servers back in the day pretty heavily when I couldn't afford sub fees for World of Warcraft. Okay, stop trolling me, alright? I was a kid, now I can afford it, and trust me, official is definitely better than the private sometimes, for the most part, okay? I mean, the community's there, and the moderation's there, things that are going to be high focuses of what we're talking about today. Don't be surprised when companies like Blizzard shut down big private servers. It's not because they're scared so much of the money that they're not making, It's because they're scared of situations like this arising. Now, Club Penguin is an online MMORPG that was catering to children primarily, where they could socialize, play games, and it was launched on October 24, 2005, then discontinued after March 30th, 2017, and halfway in that it was acquired by Disney Canada. Now, I have a history with Club Penguin myself, more memes than history, I guess we could call it memestory. I played the original briefly, sort of joke around. Then I played the 2017 reboot on video, which got discontinued a year later. And from what I know, Disney doesn't even operate Club Penguin in an official capacity. I think the best thing was the DS game that was kind of litty McTitty. I'm just going to be real with you. But ever since then, this game...
Man, there was a memory that I have this friends that we actually have. I think it was a classmate on my elementary school that she played this game and logged in, and she actively say out loud what the password was. I think it was April 46 and then 2003. I think it's 2003 was the password because it's her name and the numbers of her birth date. We actually got to log in using her account and then playing the entire game here. It was actually kind of crazy.
The game was removed, and the only surviving form of it is with private servers that utilizes the game's original SWF files, which for those of you who don't know is what Flash Player uses to run these web programs and web games in. A bunch of servers have popped up using these assets, but the biggest one we're talking about today is Club Penguin Online. Now, Club Penguin Online has around 6 million players that they claim have registered on their server. Now, if we're going to go with 10 to 15% of that amount being active...
That's actually kind of a lot. I think that's that's more than a population here in my country. I think it's 3 million here in my country.
Players,
that's
which I think is an okay amount, a healthy amount to sort of guess a conservative amount. With how aggressively advertised the game is, I wouldn't be surprised if they're making at least over $50,000 a month, maybe $100,000 a month. I work with online ads. I understand the amount of money that we can be making. And if you took 10 to 15% of 6 million players active per day, then I think it's not shy to admit that you'd be making tens of thousands of dollars a month. Now, this video started off, this whole situation started off with an ex-moderator, ex-staff member called Dom, whose YouTube channel, Joey Hughes, actually basically whistle blew the entire operation, talked about a lot of these allegations, and a key member, an operator within this faction called Riley or Anthony. Now, before we continue, okay, these videos have some serious allegations by Dom. But before I go in myself, I wanted to try and see this website as of now. What you're about to see is content recorded on Monday, May 11th, 2020. So I went into Club Penguin Online and I did a quick little investigation myself. Now, first thing to note on their website, if you wanted to check, is if you type in Club Penguin Online on Google, you're actually going to come across Club Penguin Online, their server first, clubpenguinonline.pw. It's a recreation of the original Club Penguin. Because this is a children's game, they haven't actually notified anybody over here that this is a game for mature individuals. This is still billed as a children's game. It was always a children's game, and they haven't notified that it's for an intended audience of 18 or above. Now, going to their website, you can see that most kids may fall for this being the original Club Penguin. Now, they actually have aggressive monetization on the top with banner ads and around their website. But to the right, one thing to note before we continue is the flags. They have a US, UK, Spain, and a flag from Portugal. That being said, this could easily identify a language to pick, but they have actually straight up put the countries right there, flags of the countries. They could have mentioned languages. But since they threw the country flag over there, remember, that means they know portions of their audience are from these countries specifically detailed. That's important later. Clicking the Play Now section, you have to enable Flash, obviously, to run their games, and we're going to do that. And over here, I'm loading into the game right now, and I'm going to create an account in front of you. And here, you got create free account, all these rules, and now, nowhere in this entire ordeal are you going to notice that there is a parental requirement at all. So I'm giving them my password, which, I mean, if you want to use the account, go for it. I don't care. It is what it is. I gave them a burner email, and as far as penguin names go, it was a penguin name. You have to use a Gmail account specifically because they require it, maybe to counteract spam or whatever, but that's just a case that they have. Now, here they sent you an email, again, aggressive monetization. They sent you an email, again, no mention of any children, or not, no mention of parental permission at all anywhere. They even have a copyright down over here, educational license, and then they say we don't hold copyright. They actually mention Discord, Twitter, again, important to know for later. We're going to get real Phoenix Wrighty up in this, so just expect it. Now, here I sign into the account, and as you can see, they've got plenty of servers, some of them very dead. But we're going to connect to the big one, Alaska. And we're going to sign into their server. Again, they're using Disney's logo to advertise it. That means they're still violating intellectual property. We signed.
Yeah, even though it's not like part of Disney's properties anymore because this has been shut down.
And we see a bunch of players. And here I can confirm they have children running this. So you've got a bunch of kids signed on. And I'm going to say they're kids because of the stuff that they're chatting. Because it's definitely not something an adult would do. Are you not sus of me yet? I mentioned where's my homie Riley in the chat, and that got banned because you can't mention Riley on the server at all. Otherwise, you risk the good old ban hammer. How old were you when I adopted you?
Oh.
What's going on in this server? No, I don't go to school. How long has it been? Ice cream. Oh man, dude, poor me. I'm sorry I abandoned you. Ooh. They even have a Discord that I could sign into, which was not happening, by the way. Now, even typing their competitor, which is Club Penguin Rewritten, is cost to get a slap on the wrist. Oh, let me tell you. You type that in right there, and bam, you've used an inappropriate word. At this point, I'm trying to figure out what doesn't get banned over.
What appropriate word?
And bam, you've used an inappropriate word. At this point, I'm trying to figure out what doesn't get banned over here, and simply asking for where I can hire some South American cartel members to do the dirty is not banned. So let me get this straight. Cavos is banned, Riley is banned, Club Penguin Rewritten is banned, but ain't no cartels getting banned, let me tell you. Narcos Mexico Season 6 already coming to a Netflix account near you, let me tell you. So that was my initial investigation. Things that I told you to note for, which was no parental requirements, the countries that were mentioned, because those are going to be important at the last phase of this video. But let's continue on.
Really?
Now, their website also indicated a giant level of unprofessionalism when they made a public statement about these allegations about them. And most of them were basically, they're all just jealous of our success, guys. Yeah, pretty mature of all of you to say that. But they also made a server called Truth where they completely badmouthed Dominic, and we'll get to all of that in a second too. So the unprofessionalism and all of this stuff added up makes my initial investigation kind of pretty bad. I'll have to give them a 2 out of 10 on the scale, okay? 2 being that they actually had a functional website, so I mean they got to have some points, right? Allegations. All right, so I'm not going to talk about names in specific, but the names that are mentioned are Riley and Anthony interchangeably in a chronological perspective. These were names that were switched around. Now, Riley Anthony is a pseudonym, obviously, for somebody who is alleged to do criminal activities. Now, I know this person's real name, and I know their name, and a lot of people know his name. But you know who else knows his name? Disney. Now, we're going to look at some legal paperwork, buckaroos. Okay, you might be wondering, Muta, what's wrong with you? Legal paperwork right now? What's going on? What's going on with you? Well, if you go to this website called adrforum.com, this is a company that deals in arbitration, which is basically coming to a speedy, effective resolution in terms of not going down the path of litigation, which wastes a lot of time, a lot of money, and honestly, it's just not an approach most people want to take. Now, in this decision that we're going to look at, right, this is really key and important. The complainant is Disney Canada, right, and the respondent is the Club Penguin Online leader.
It's kind of interesting, like, I guess this game, like the Club Penguin stuff, even though like it's infested with like, weird stuff, it's kind of interesting, like how, I don't know why Disney Canada is in this case is the one who owns this game before, while not, Disney USA. I guess there's a lot of Disney outside USA, I guess.
I'm not going to name names here, but they've identified them. Disney knows who it is. We all know. The domain name at issue is clubpenguinonline.com, who's registered with Namecheap Incorporated. Procedural history. Complainant submitted a complaint to a forum on July 19th, and they gave them payment. Now, on the following day, Namecheap was contacted by email, and they confirmed Club Penguin Online did belong to the actual person Disney was going against. Now, on July 9th, 2018, All right, the respondent, Club Penguin Online, responded to Disney on the due date of their complaint, right? The last possible day that they could respond. Now, the relief that Disney wanted was they requested the domain name be transferred from respondent to the actual complainant. So going from Club Penguin Online staff to Disney. Now, they had three contentions. Disney said that they were the ones who operated an online portal for kids widely known as Club Penguin, and they relaunched as Club Penguin Island. Complainant has rights in the Club Penguin trademark based on the registration in United States Patent and Trademark. Number two, respondent lacks rights and legitimate interests in the clubpenguinonline.com domain name because respondent is not commonly known by the disputed domain name and is not authorized by complainant to use the mark in any way. Respondent fails to use the disputed domain name in connection with a bona fide offering of goods and services, or for a legitimate non-commercial or fair use. Number three, respondent registered and uses the domain name in bad faith, attempting to disrupt complainant's businesses by using the disputed domain name to offer pirated copies of the complainant's products. So Disney has said that this game that they're selling, this private server, is against their wishes. They're already committing privacy, copy, IP fraud. And Disney has agreed to that. Now, the respondent had responded here with a full quote. In that case, I would just like to say that Club Penguin Online is an educational experiment. And the only reason why the game is so successful is because many people wish to play the classic original Club Penguin. Hence our domain name. We would like to keep our domain as we do not want to lose our users. We can put a link to the official Club Penguin Island website on our site if Disney agrees.
What? Why not just like remove that? Because Disney owned that in their day. Like, why does this guy has to have like the priority to even own this, online game in to even like called educational experiment? My God.
In short, we just want to keep hold of our domain until the expiration date, January 2019. Thank you. Okay, sure thing. Now, complainant's additional submission, all right? So basically, this whole argument, they even acknowledged that their website was only successful because they were using Disney's actual domain address that they had, run under the situation. So they knew what they were doing was wrong. Disney knew what they were doing was wrong. Eventually, this was given back to Disney, so they now own the clubpenguinonline.com trademark. That's why they had to change their domain address, because Disney won. Now, the reason I mention a lot of that is Disney has to have known that this server has existed if they were willing to file an arbitration and a legal proceeding against this individual. This is public knowledge. Like, you can go to arbitration forums and you can go to arbitration groups and look up this decision. This is not something that is illegally acquired or anything. This is publicly available. And honestly, that being said, Disney has stated when they had identified and filed against them. Now, I found a link.
Wait, why didn't they just remove the game altogether? They didn't know that this game even exists? Like an alternate private server for them?
All right, now the history of allegations against Riley and Anthony have been happening for years, right? But if you look into Google, right, and you Google it real quick and you modify their search terms, one of the dates that the Spider reports is July 12th, 2018, when they were talking about Club Penguin Online and their various claims and the mentions of Riley. This was July 12th, 2018. Now again, if they submitted this paperwork on the 19th, given the fact that they had more legal backing, they had the ability to get all of the information they wanted, how did they not come across this information? What lawyer is not getting paid six figures and not coming across this stuff? You think that if they got the domain address back and they found information like this, it's within their interest as IP holders to say, look, we don't want Club Penguin to be attached to anything like this. Right now, we can nip this in the butt right now, and we have complete legal authority to do it. This was a site that's operating in the United States, and these people are operating in the United Kingdom. This isn't a case of someone in Russia or China abusing IP and they had no recourse. No. They have complete recourse to attack this. But they did. And I'm not gonna...
I think I have sneaking suspicion that the owner of this, I guess, online game is from Portugal or Spain, because that was, as Mutahar pointed out, that was the small detail that seems to he really alludes to a lot, like the flags between Portugal and Spain. So I'm pretty sure the one who owns this website is possibly European in this case. That's why they can't find who this person is, because it's outside from, I guess, Canada or US in this case.
not going to blame Disney or anything for it, but it's like, listen, if you had this issue right now, maybe it was in your interest to just completely isolate it.
Yes.
And I believe fair use wasn't being applied. These people are illegally abusing Disney's IP.
Yeah.
Maybe they're getting away with it under some legality and Disney can't touch it, but this is definitely something Disney should take to court. Disney should definitely target the individuals over here because this is definitely hurting their brand for sure. Again, Google Spiders is putting that as July 12th, 2018. Listen, I'm just going to say it like it is. Google Spiders is digging it out. That is what it is. All right, unless Google Spiders are wrong in this case, or I'm wrong, then that date should have fallen under at least Disney knowing about it. And even then, months down the road, weeks down the road, they're not going to like stop looking into a case once something goes their way. They're still going to have some idea of this going forward. But anyways, let's go forward a little bit. Allegations like this extend to entire websites that showcase Virtual Penguin, another server that was owned and operated at some point by Riley or Anthony. Now, these allegations, again, they're years in the making. Now, Riley or Anthony has allegedly solicited nudes from underage users by apparently providing perks on the server, like mod status or the prestige of joining the inner circle of Club Penguin servers. They end up getting allegedly blackmailed, but you might wonder how. Well, let me describe it. See, when kids sign up for websites, they really don't know any better. The emails that they'll use are emails that they've used on 50 other services. And a handful of those services at one point will end up getting their data breached, which means hackers can download that and see, hey, this is an email, this is the password associated with the email. So what would happen is they would find this email breached, they would connect it, try a password or a slight variation on multiple websites, get into accounts, slowly dig out things like addresses, phone numbers, whatever you want to call it allegedly, and then build a profile on key personnel. So if you tried leaving the server or you tried getting away, they would have some way to keep you back in under threats of possible swatting or doxing it, or potentially things even more dangerous than that. Now, again, these are just allegations, and this is a method that I'm describing. That doesn't mean I'm accusing that method of anything. Again, trying to keep this video as legal as I can. Now, if you don't believe me, Dom's videos cover this allegation pretty in depth, and you'll see people from other Dom's videos cover this allegation pretty in depth, and you'll see people from other Club Penguin servers making these same allegations, and you can listen to them right now.
So he had information on me, and he threatened me that if I spoke out against him, if I told anyone what was going on, that he would swat me and he would make my life hell. So for 4 years, I was under Riley's control. I was his slave. I did the dirty work for him. I doxed people for him. I hacked people for him. And, you know, for that long period of time, I defended him. If Riley told me...
Because even if you are blackmailed, if you're doing the dirty stuff for the higher-ups, you're unfortunately also going to get imprisoned by this one.
To do something, I would do it, no and questions or buts. And that's kind of how it went.
But how about I show you how Riley allegedly gets other people to dox and SWAT for him? So here is a group of Discord messages. So here you can see one of the moderators typing in !gas, which is a command that allegedly can dig into the CP Online servers and download basically their usernames, ban histories, account age, IPs, and emails. So some of this stuff is personally identifiable. Now, I'm going to start censoring some things, but here they've got addresses. So here's Dominic and his entire address, and then another moderator is being pinged in this Discord conversation. Down here they've got a name, address, and parent names. And this is where a story is fed. So you are blah blah. Those are your parents. Mark has a gun and is threatening you and your mother. Yes, sir. I just had to hang up. The cops that they transferred me to knew them. What do I do then? What the fuck? What was said? He kept saying, is this a prank? Your father wouldn't do this. Then I hung up. He is feeding them a story so that when they call up police officers, allegedly this deleted user who is alleged to be Riley or Anthony is giving a story where once you call up cops anonymously to give them a story, it's this story that seals the deal when a SWAT team gets sent. Cops nowadays are getting smarter. So when you give them a BS story, they're going to see through it. And then they're going to work against you. When you're on, call that number, police. Okay, I will as soon as I get home. I have to go. Do it when you're on ASAP. Tell me what happens. Apparently, they've been getting prank calls all night because it's Halloween. Should I try another day? Yes, we'll try tomorrow as I'll be available then. Good job so far. You there? I'm about to head to sleep. Got some calls for you to do tomorrow. Yeah, that ain't Gucci, let me tell you. He was swatted, but he had no idea it was Riley, to be fair, in this instance. But yeah, you can see how coincidentally things do line up. In the mod process, for whatever reason, in the following screenshot, Riley is alleged to ask for risque photos. Hi,
Oh my
so
God.
this is a mod application. I'd love to be a moderator for CPO. I love the community and staff. Thank you. Could you send pictures? What do you mean pictures, huh? Nudes? I'm 16. Send it for mod? That's a little illegal there. Just putting it out there. Here's another one from Twitter where it's like, is this Cupcakes? Do you tell her to send me nudes for mod? And she's 14. So? Will Virtual Penguin close? Bro, they're talking about the illegals and he's worried about Club Penguin closing. Bro, get your price.
Yeah, it's so sad, man. Like these children's like don't even know what they're into. Like I wonder who this Riley guy is. It seems like they already know who his name is, and it seems to have a stranglehold with this online game. And what he's sending message, man, is just so fucking disgusting. Even though they know who his name is, it seems like they don't seem to release his name, within this video, I guess. In the end of the day, I can understand that someone could, make a case for them in court if they said anything that is, any wrongdoings from the person.
Priorities straight. What's wrong with you? Now, beyond just that information, there are individuals who once were staff for Riley or Club Penguin Online that ended up basically detailing these allegations in an interview with Dom.
Mm-hmm. So one day I was just like chilling with my friends, right? And I got summoned to a room. It was just me and Anthony in the room together. And I was like, what's going on? Like the freaking administrator of the entire game summoned me to a room. And he was like, are you interested in becoming a moderator? I'm like, sure. Mm-hmm. And he got for it. And I was like, no, that's not.
You said you did what? You cut out again.
He said that like I have to send nudes.
Send you
like
nudes.
Yeah, and I was like, no, that's not how you're supposed to become a moderator. And I was 16 at the time, right? He got her to send, he groomed her a lot and she sent nudes, unfortunately. And then she became a moderator instantly, and the word did get out to the group chat. And, I don't like how the other people dealt with, especially this one moderator that I was kind of close with back then. She just didn't like her for doing that. And I'm just like, why can't you not like him for doing that? It's not her fault. She's 13. Right. It's his. This is a full ass grown.
Oh my God, oh my God. Oh my God. This is so fucking disgusting, man.
Ass man from the UK.
Okay, sorry for this sort of guerrilla style screen record.
Okay, so it seems like I do have like a sneaking suspicion that he is European. It seems like they said that he was from the UK, I guess, in this case. So I guess there's a little bit
ladies and gentlemen,
there's a little bit of revealing from that.
Is just another situation that got added as I was editing this video. Now, this is a whole server called Veil is Over Party. Allegedly, this was created by Riley or Anthony or someone who was on the Club Penguin Online staff, where they fired one of their moderators. And they left this long message, which I'll really just be reading a chunk of at this point, just to sort of set the mood. Because that's not really all to focus on. We don't have to cover everything, but here is, okay, I'll be explaining what happened with Veil and the future of CPO. As many of you know, me and Vale had a relationship going on, which began in and around March. She started the relationship after she found out some info about me, hearing my voice on VC, knowing how I look, and then she made it obvious she had feelings for me in the staff chat. Former staff members or veteran members can testify in this. I knew what was up, but truthfully speaking, I never envisioned myself in an online romance, so I stayed my distance with her and just flirted back with her, but never wanted to make it official. After a week of Vale would barge into my DMs telling me her feelings, so yeah, on and on, you get the story about this online relationship that was started over Club Penguin Online. If you notice over here, what's kind of intriguing are the channels. So they have Truth About Vale, then they've got a general channel, and then a voice channel that's still accessible. So here's like another deleted user. I don't know who it is because Discord doesn't actually have an identifier of which specific deleted user, but they're linking to the Club Penguin Online Discord that I believe belongs to the official Club Penguin Online Discord. Okay, yeah, I just had to check through the website, but yes, it does seem to be their private server Discord that got linked over here. So it does belong to them. I just checked which one it was by going to their official website and clicking on the Discord link. What's kind of really intriguing about it is this screenshot that I've been sent. Again, like all the stuff that you've seen in this video, it's another allegation. But this is from the Veil is Over party, and we've only seen these channels, but we've also noticed that there are hidden channels, apparently, which is a feature on Discord, where you've got a staff channel, a join channel, and then you've got the sexy channel. And this is where apparently Veil, who is an underage girl or was underage at the time, had her actual photographs leaked in this channel. Now, since the server is hidden, I cannot see it as far as my knowledge goes. So
I mean, we don't want to see it, of course. Well, we can't also confirm that. I mean, we're not gonna even go from there, but like that's
with
just...
all of that said, it could exist, and that
Yeah.
would be something that Discord themselves would have to investigate and notice. And I would say if Discord has investigated it and the server is not shut down, that would mean that maybe there isn't any offending material. But then again,
That's also the problem of Discord, because they just don't investigate this type of stuff. They really just make shit private. It's almost the same as Telegram, yes. The app Telegram, which is also kind of similar to Discord, where they just don't do anything. It's just a private anything, and just everything can do anything, I guess. Even like any type of sending legal stuff, maybe drugs in this case, or, something that unfortunately, some things like this.
And there's no way for me to verify if Discord has actually assessed this specific server or not. But it's something that I hope Discord gets the wind of if they haven't already, so they can check. Stop, internet. This hurts. Now, I think this is enough to cover these allegations at least. I'll say I haven't personally fired up the Discord myself, seen these chats, and refreshed them on my devices to get validity. But again, if things like child pornography are being traded, if all this stuff is happening, Discord has a vested interest to look into this. Now, in their public address, they said Discord did look into it, but I didn't see any evidence of that. I'll be real. I think Discord needs to recheck again, because because here's the thing. I don't want to believe that hundreds, thousands of screenshots were fake. That's a really intense trolling operation. I want to see if Discord went in, and I want Discord to publicly look into this, because this is a serious matter given Discord's history. Now, all these allegations take place over years, and tons of these victims are coming out, and I'm not one to just say victims are wrong or any of this. When the stories correlate this hard, from a personal perspective, it's hard for me to look away and just start believing an individual or a group when they also act completely unprofessionally in all of it. Now, they, on their public address, of course, as unprofessional as it is, they made a Discord where they were blasting Dahmer giving his true nature in a server called Truth. Now, the server, the truthfulness is in question, because another YouTuber involved in this whole mess came out and basically had to fact check him. That YouTuber is known as Tamago. He's got a string of numbers, and I just had mac and cheese, so I completely forgot them, by the way. Don't know how that correlated. But his channel is, I quote, makes videos about games and other stuff I find interesting. Top tier. He spoke about his Snapchat getting hacked at one point, and I'll let him do the talking here.
So I was surprised that he would know about it. So I respond telling him that it's been hacked and I can't log in. And he replies back saying, yeah, CPPS or whatever. Anthony, I think. And secondly, be really careful about the websites you sign up to. I'm not sure, but I have an inkling that the way these guys were able to get my password was by looking at the registered user details for one of the Club Penguin private servers I'd signed up to in the past. Remember that these private servers are run by ordinary people, usually quite young people who don't have the resources to invest in the level of security that a company like Disney would with the original Club Penguin and Club Penguin Island.
Exactly what I've been saying. No, give a second. I know it's outlandish. Like here you can see is Tamago's big Twitter thread where he talks about this. He makes a video a couple days ago where he talks about the important PSA for Club Penguin players, right? And if we go down just a little bit, he actually says, this is a statement pertaining to the hacking of my Snapchat, which was posted before this video went up. but since I've only just now seen it, I'll respond to each point made in here. So this is apparently screenshots from the Truth server, where they outright apparently lied about Tamago in this, or that whole situation. So again, they lied about something. How can you believe anything else in this scenario when they're not willing to give the truth on the Truth Discord? Here is one of their mods who says, now one of the most annoying DMs we constantly get is, why did Riley hack Tamago's Snapchat? I would like to begin with this. Riley didn't hack his Snapchat. If you watch that YouTube video, you could clearly see it was someone else who openly admitted that they were the ones who got access to his Snapchat. Why did he do it? Personally, Riley doesn't know. He met the hacker from a different community, and he randomly told us in our group chat that he got into Tamago's Snapchat. He linked them to Tamago's Discord server, and Riley and others followed. The only reason why Riley was there was to lay epic trolling. Oh my god, you're so funny, dude. Over here they said, funny enough, on the same day, we went on voice chat on Tamago's server, and Tamago even spoke to the hacker about the situation and laughed at it. Bolded, by the way, so you know it's extra truthful. But just how truthful is it? Well, let's just get it from the man himself. They state Riley didn't hack my account. Even if it wasn't specifically him who carried out the actual action, he still encouraged, participated, and then revealed in the hacking that was done for him. This is shown in my CP hacker video. It stated that Riley doesn't know why the hacker did it, but when a moderator from my server asked him why he did it, they responded by saying that it was because I spoke about Anthony Riley in a video. And even Riley himself responded by posting a link to my video. They state Riley was only in my Discord server to troll, but I don't consider sending crude images and messages to my real-life friends from my Snapchat account and claiming that you will expose me as trolling. I call that harassment. And right you are, Phoenix Wright. Right you are. They state that on the same day we had a chat together on my server, and I laughed about it. We did not have a chat that day. I didn't even talk about the situation to anybody until I posted my video about the hacking on the 8th of October, over a month after the incident. Well, so much for the truth, right? Club Penguin Online got fact-checked by the person you were saying was okay with the epic trolling.
Stop up, boy! Ladies and gentlemen, hello, me Mutahar, and I had to pause and append this section, and I had to remove the next 10 seconds of this video because it covers an allegation that's not exactly okay for me to share right now because it pertains to an ongoing police investigation, apparently, in the United Kingdom. And because I don't want this video to impede any of that investigation, again, all these are just allegations, I have to cut out some allegations because the police are actively investigating into them. But
it's also, I can understand that. I think it's better to just remove something that, you know, hopefully doesn't muddy the water, especially when the police are investigating these people, you know, who are hopefully damnful, and maybe they can get something out of it and put that person in jail, you know, or we'll never know because it's also an allegation, I guess, in the end of the day.
Rest assured, it's a pretty serious allegation. And I swear this isn't some foray into some fucking TikTok channel that I'm going into. So last time, I hope, for a long time, you're going to have to see Portrait Muta.
Now, moving on further, Riley is alleged to be in police custody. And the thing is, if Riley gets away with any of this, the people that I've talked to are actually fearful for their life. Like, me making this video is also scary as shit to them anyways. That's why I'm treating this even more seriously than I normally would.
I see.
Like, I get it sometimes I'm ha-haing through the video. These people are genuinely afraid for their life. A lot of people here believe that Riley still has the power to do some really...
Yeah, because unfortunately he really owned almost all of their bodies in this case. And you can use them as blackmail or even like upload them online. That's the unfortunate truth about this type of like disgusting monsters. They really just misuse you and kind of like unfortunately control and manipulate the shit out of you. That's why never ever send anything from them, man. Especially if they are, you know, threatening their own type of life. It's not your fault. If they, you know, ended themselves, I guess in this case. Or the best case scenario is always, you know, ask for help. Because in this type of situation, man, like if you don't know, just don't. The best thing is always ask for help. Disgusting, man.
Destructive shit to them because they have their information so heavily compromised. Now, are the police in the United Kingdom doing anything? Allegedly they are. I've heard he's been arrested. I heard he's posted bail, and then I heard he's broken the bail. And UK police hasn't said anything about it. Like, there's not even a police report. Apparently they're working behind the scenes. That's all I'm getting. And I don't want to undermine more of what's going on. Like, that's why I'm going to stop right here. I believe the police are doing something, and I think something's going to happen, and I don't want to undermine it. But the thing about it is that Riley has money, if we talked about this earlier, right? Like, they're obviously making money. Riley's going to have the cash to run away to, like, places like Russia or Japan, where extradition may never be a possibility, where he can get away with his crimes. Maybe, all right? Though that isn't likely right now because of the global pandemic, right? So, I mean, obviously you can't get away, but it's still a point to consider, right? Like, you're dealing with somebody that has the financial assets to do this. Now, one thing to note over here.
That's also, the disgusting thing about, like, some of these people just escape to an island and never to be seen again, just to, I guess, still use this type of, power, and especially from the money that they even receive because they own this private game, actually, private online game. It's very tough, actually. But the good thing is, like, the pandemic at that time is, like, I guess the saving grace for this one, because, he's probably not gonna go around a lot.
Here is COPA and GDPR, and this is what I think you can really nab him on. Riley is still alleged to do these things, but I think what isn't alleged are the actual failures to comply with common laws in the United States and the United Kingdom and the EU, which I believe this site is violating. The best way to treat this is to get this whole site removed, get this whole site shut down, get it investigated. Because the moment you stop that cash flow, the more scared some of these people are going to get. So let me give you a couple things.
This is why I'm always, like, concerned. Like, why didn't Disney just shut this down altogether? Because they kind of own it, and also this, I guess, website doesn't even, like, owned by anyone, and also violate a lot of rules. Why not just, like, shut this down altogether?
Now, this website, running a whois search on it, basically revealed that it was a US hosted web server. So it's run in, like, Texas. Now, in COPA, there is a clause where, I'm going to read it to you. I operate a child-directed app that allows kids to make paintings. I don't collect the paintings, they rest on the device. But the app includes buttons for popular email and social media providers that kids can click on within the app. The buttons open an email program or social network, populate it with a painting, and allow the child to share it along with a message. I don't collect or share any other personal information through the app. Do I have to seek verifiable parental consent? Remember how when we investigated, they didn't have any parental consent,
there was no.
Even though that was a part of the original Club Penguin. Now, here they sent you an email, again, aggressive monetization. They sent you an email, again, no mention of any children, or not, no mention of parental permission at all anywhere. Yes, the COPA rule defines collection to include requesting, prompting, or encouraging the child to submit personal information online. Things like an email address, huh? Ooh. Or enabling a child to make personal information publicly available in identifiable form. In addition, under the COPA rule, disclosure means making a child's personal information publicly available in identifiable form through an email service or any other means. Twitter and Discord links were kind of interesting, right? You must get verifiable parental consent before enabling children to share personal information in this manner, even through third parties on your app. Boys and girls, I may not be a lawyer, but that sounds like a COPA violation to me. If they gather and store emails without parental permission, I mean, literally just read it, maybe the FCC should get a big fat report. But there's something even more scarier than the FCC and COPA, and that's GDPR. Now, GDPR is General Data Protection Regulation, which is a strict data protection provision implemented by the EU, and even after Brexit, the United Kingdom has a provision called the UK GDPR, or their own variances of the Data Protection Act for them. So this is what GDPR does, roughly. Basically, it's big data protections for the actual user, right? Again, basically so that as your data...
And if you don't know, friends, like, majority of the EU too are very strict from their regulation, especially from big companies and data protections and stuff. So they're very, very strict from those type of stuff. So this may be very, very huge.
Is harvested by big tech firms. You have the right to erasure, right to privacy, right to be forgotten. And those are rights
which United States don't have. Good thing for the EU, they have the right to delete their information. But in the US, nah, bro. We even sell those data for you. So, hey, America, baby, freedom. Am I right?
provided to you under GDPR. Even if you're a company that doesn't operate under EU, you still have to respect your EU consumer base under GDPR. Companies like Google, Facebook, Apple, they get invested quickly and they got taken care of it. Otherwise, they risk massive GDPR issues. Google themselves, at one point, I believe, got fined 50 million euros.
So 50 million euros? Now that is sexy. when Google gets punished like that, that is incredible.
In France for a GDPR infraction. So it's pretty serious. Now, with all of that said,
Insane.
GDPR in this case, all right, is something that needs to be taken care of, again, whether you're in the country or not. Now, if we went back just to look at what their website was detailing, remember when I showed you the flags for the country? One of the flags they show is Spain. Spain is a member right now of the EU countries, and as far as my knowledge goes, they're also subject to GDPR and their own data protection laws.
And I think Portugal too, like Portugal and Spain is part of the EU. Even I know the British, I think the United Kingdom in this case is not part of the EU. Well, except I think it was Ireland. Yeah, Ireland was part of the EU, but Brexit, I think after Brexit, yeah, the United Kingdom unfortunately, removed themselves out from the EU.
So what I'm not seeing on their website is right to erasure, which is a major clause from GDPR. Anywhere that's not mentioned. Now, a case can be made that this site is gathering from its EU residents and it's not following data protection laws. All right, that is a fact. That's going to happen. Now, as of this video, all of this stuff is recorded on May 11, 2020. They have violated it this long. So they can't just go back and say, oh, no, it was there already. No, you have recorded evidence that you haven't done this. Now, here's a Reddit post that I'm going to show you where they actually talked about these GDPR infractions. Want to get hot and spicy with Muta? Well, here's the actual Reddit post that talks about this GDPR in depth. Now, 10 months ago, a user actually went and asked them to remove their data under GDPR guidelines. So they asked them, hey, great website, but can you remove my account? We do not delete accounts. I hope you're not holding people's verification email addresses if accounts can be deleted. That can get iffy quickly. True. All of our operations and the data we collect follow the relevant laws. Okay. I would recommend changing your policies on data management and allowing people to have their data deleted from your systems. After some searching, I find that this is a common problem that people have with your service. So then they mentioned EU and GDPR. And what is their response? We are following the relevant laws and legislation regarding data protection. No, you're not. So we do not need to change our policy. We do not delete accounts because it would allow rule breakers to simply create a new account and play again. No, you have a month roughly to comply with GDPR guidelines. If you don't follow that, prepare for that hot, juicy fine, which could be up to 20 million euros or 4% of your previous year's revenue or worldwide gross. So prepare.
That's why I love the EU, man. Like they're very notorious of destroying any type of these companies, like trying to even scrape your own data. So they really have to acknowledge and try to have the option to delete your information there, because that is a crazy fine. The good thing is the EU really hands down slap this, this type of huge companies, or even small companies like this, I guess small game private ownership, I guess, website, they're going to find you.
Prepare for the goat seeing if that's what if that's your response. You can't just say, no, we don't have to comply with GDPR. Well, good luck. Now, again, I'm not a lawyer. I ain't no Phoenix Wright. This ain't Danganronpa, but I think I'm firing some truth shots right now. So I'm just gonna say, from both angles, they're definitely skirting the lines with COPPA, and they're skirting the lines with GDPR. And given the fact that kids are involved, it may actually even be criminal to an extent. So in conclusion, obviously, I gotta say, look, this video is a hard video to make. But what I do know about this video is we're all responsible. Okay, as a YouTube community, we need to raise awareness. Given that I'm on this platform, the strongest thing I can do is raise the awareness. Disney needs to act against this individual, against these individuals. Kids, you gotta be careful online. Kids have to be careful too. They're falling for basic security issues in the age of the internet. And parents, look, man, I get that you give your kids a tablet and walk the hell away, but just fucking go to them. Go look at what they're doing. Just because they're playing a game with harmless penguins doesn't mean it's all harmless. Make sure that they're not.
I think parents should have their own iPad and then let the kids, use that iPad for them, and only use them to borrow your own iPad, so that you have your own parental guidance and what you can use with your own type of iPad, So the kids don't own any type of iPad, but they can only borrow it from you as a parent, so that you can have more protections from that case. Because, children, they don't know anything as much, I guess.
on private servers. Make sure that they're properly moderated.
Yeah.
This could have been anything besides Club Penguin. And because of the actions of Club Penguin Online, the entire Club Penguin private server community is under risk. Because once Disney starts acting against one server, you bet they're not going to stop. They're going to blanket cover all of these if they have to. And it's going to be scorched earth, let me tell you, if they decide to do anything. Attention needs to be raised, and that being said, I think that's the conclusion of this video. So look at all the facts presented, make up your own claim, see what you can do, see what you believe is right. And again, covering this whole GDPR stuff, if you operate in those EU countries and you feel that your data is being mishandled by Club Penguin Online, file a complaint with your actual data protection authority. Google that up right now, wherever you live, and get it done. If you live in the US, make sure to give the FTC a nice call or an email and tell them, hey, this could be happening, check it out. And all that being said, I'm going to end this video off by asking you, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. Big thank you to Dom and a lot of the people that came out and whistle blew to me. You all are amazing. Thank you for helping me out. And big thanks to Tamago for, coming out with this information and being a stellar lad. Go give his channel a check. And the biggest thanks that I can give right now is to Kavos. I feel like, as I said earlier, it's kind of like a UK-Canadian joint op. I've been working with him behind the scenes. He's been a great dude to work with. Despite being UK's resident commentary asshole, he's been an absolute nice person, at least with me. So I'd be a total dick if I didn't tell you to go and sub to his channel, because he was the one that made a video about this. It's doing very well. And I highly recommend, if you want to watch more coverage, you check out his video. With all that said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much. This is me, Mutahar. And if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. For legal reasons, everything here is an allegation, and it's really up to you. I'm only reporting what's in the public image right now. This is me, Mutahar, and I am out.
Oh, I didn't know that he still do the salute and stuff. But yeah, it's kind of cool. Like, he also gives some props, to a lot of like his collaborators in this case, to find like all the evidence on what's happening on the shitty website in this case, and the games that it's just so bad. There's also one thing that I can really, man, this game is like, it's just so bad, man. Even like the person who even like owned this one is like, it's so disgusting. The good thing is, like, the news from this game has been completely wiped off from the face of the earth because of Disney. Actually, like, saw this video, I think, but yeah, this video was so popular because this is like the catalyst that just eroded from the existence of the internet, man. Because Club Penguin, the game, on the online game, was like just deleted from Disney after they like hear this. I think this was also like reported by a lot of news coverage too. So yeah, this was a very huge video by Mutahar, and really make a change from the internet world after this, man. Because yeah, this is finally like have a closing chapter, and hopefully and thankfully this this thing is already over. There's just a lot of people that unfortunately has been manipulated and taken advantage of by this video. Has been taking advantage about this game online. Also, I'm very impressed that Mutahar always have the way he introduces himself, like only in the end of the video. I guess I'll try to do that. I never actually considered like having an intro or an outro, like introducing myself, like, hey, I am Tizona Reacts. I react to spooky stuff, I guess. I guess I'm just gonna do that. So yeah, friends, thank you for watching this video. I am Tizona Reacts. I react to spooky and disturbing stuff, unfortunately, in the internet. And yeah, good afternoon, I guess. Good afternoon, friends.